Like they don't care about definitions at all. It's where they're changed to call someone a misogynist just because they say something against women. But yet whenever you say something like you need a man, or whenever a man says like a woman is his, or, you know, like they claim a woman, they get offended by that. Whenever, what else are you supposed to say for those words?
Subscribe to this channel. In case you are watching this channel and have not subscribed.
So here's the scenario, ladies, right? Okay. We're going to go into a dream scenario here. Let's say you're walking down the street, and in one scenario, you see a very strong built man wearing a shirt that says independent, and he's walking with a bunch of grocery bags, and you know, he's doing well. He's walking around and it doesn't look like he really needs help. Are you going to stop him and say, hey, let me help you carry the groceries?
No.
No, right? Okay.
Because he's already independent.
Fantastic. Now, let's say in the other scenario, you see an old lady walking down the street and she's struggling. The bags are dropping, they're ripping, stuff's falling all over the place. She clearly can't hold all the bags. What are you going to do?
You're going to help her.
You're going to help her. Okay. Fantastic. I love that y'all said that. Men operate the same way with women. When a woman runs around and says, I'm independent, what that basically says is, I'm independent of who? Men. Men don't run around when they're self-sufficient and say, I'm independent. That's asinine, because men have to provide. But when girls provide, they go ahead and say they're independent. So if you're independent, well, you don't really need me. So I'm going to go ahead and get with a girl that needs me.
Yeah, that needs me.
And then number two, right, on top of that, is going to bend to my frame and follow me. And I'm going to give her those first experiences versus dealing with a girl that's independent, that tends to be more masculine. That is why men prefer a girl that comes from from her two parents versus an independent woman. Because when women are independent, they love to shout into the clouds that I'm independent and constantly remind you of that shit. Men don't do that. If we live by ourselves, you never heard me say, I'm independent. That's stupid. But women run around and say they're independent. And then you got to ask yourself, independent of who exactly? Of men.
I mean, it's yin and yang. It's pretty common. It's a balance of everything. If you are an independent man, you want a codependent woman. If you are an independent woman, you want a codependent man. I don't really even know if that's the case, because, and maybe it is, but whenever we're talking about the modern woman and the average woman that just shout out I'm independent even though they're really not, and they still rely on a man to pay for their bills and take them out to dates and to, you know, just to do things that women typically want men to do first because of gender roles, then you're not independent. You're just lying to yourself, or you're just saying the same thing that everyone else says. So I don't know. Just from the women that I've seen on here and in public and on other podcasts, and just typically women don't want to be independent for long. Like they'll say like, I don't need no man, but they still want a man to do everything for them. But maybe an actually independent woman that really doesn't want a man and really doesn't need a man and really wants to support a man, maybe those women want a codependent man, but I just don't think that's typically in their genes.
Marriage is not about needing someone. Marriage is about like a good
helping each
addition.
other, which is needing somebody. It's not really needing, but it kind of is. It's nice to have. It's something that you don't want to lose.
It's not like I need someone, you know? It's like you came into my life. I did not need you, but you're a good addition. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like I don't need you. Tomorrow you're not here and I'm going to be okay.
Really? You're saying that? Explain to me why women overwhelmingly, when they get married, prefer a man that makes 56% more money than they do, regardless of how much they make.
56% more?
It depends on the girl, though.
Most women on average, when polled, prefer a man that makes about 50% more money than they do. So that means if you meet a girl that makes $100,000, she wants a guy that makes $150,000.
$156,000.
But it's not like I need you. It's like you look good with me, you know? You know what I mean?
The point I'm trying to make here is that the man
though.
has to be sufficient. The girl doesn't have to be. That's my point here.
Nobody needs anybody to survive, but it's like that's another thing that women get caught up on is these. Like they don't care about definitions at all. It's where they'll change shit to call someone a misogynist just because they don't say, or just because they say something against women. But yet whenever you say something like you need a man, or you say, or whenever a man says like a woman is his, or, you know, like they claim a woman, they get offended by that. Whenever, what else are you supposed to say for those words? Like I've asked that plenty of times in my videos. It's like, what if you're not mine in a relationship and I'm not yours in a relationship, how are we supposed to define ourselves? Please let me know if there's someone new watching and has an explanation. Let me know, because I would love to know what word to use to not trigger a feminist. especially when. And another one, what I would need is whenever we're talking about need, because you don't, like I said, you don't need them. But what else would you say when you depend on somebody?
No.
Because you're saying
I
you
don't
don't
think
need
so.
the guy to do something, but the reality is you still want it, especially when it comes to marriage.
I mean, it wouldn't be bad, but I don't need it. You know?
Okay,
Oh my
That's the
God.
mentality.
Okay, by your argument, I don't need an independent woman. I prefer a girl that comes from her parents.
I accidentally paused my recording, so I went back for like 5 seconds. But that's like, I forgot what I was saying. But that's like saying that you don't need money. You don't need it, but it's really nice to have. And I know people were talking about, you need money to eat, you need money to survive. Nah, you can just go break a law and be in prison your whole life and survive. Like, you don't need it, you know? You need food, you need water, you need stuff like that, but you do not need money. Just like you don't need a man, but it's very, very nice to have, and it's almost a necessity. Just like you don't need a car, but you pretty much do nowadays.
A girl that comes from her parents. See, the
Yeah.
thing is, I'm telling y'all what men want. You guys are saying, well, it shouldn't be that way.
Where
I
were
don't
you
agree.
born? No.
No,
I
I
never
get
said
it.
it shouldn't be that way, but your question wasn't that she's claiming she's independent. You're saying that she's independent because she has her own home and she doesn't live at home.
Yeah.
Which is, what if it's, even though you're generalizing, which I understand, generally, he will still want the woman who lives at home. However, because she lives alone and can do all those things, does not mean she's not willing to bend the rules for you. Like the moment you come in and you're just like, oh, so this is, anyways, it's just
No, I get what you're saying, but it's way harder, and she has to really like you. If not, it's just like, okay, another one of these niggas.
that's not true, especially in today's world, 2023. Literally, we all know this. It doesn't matter where you live, in the hood, in the nice neighborhood. Well, maybe not like rich neighborhoods, sorry, where people like billions. But nowadays, there's not a lot of high value men that you speak of, right? And we still need to live. It's still a 2-income household.
Yeah. I mean, obviously,
That's the general.
I'm not
that we
knocking
should
you
be
for
talking
working,
about.
but what I am saying is that if given the choice, men would prefer a girl that comes from her parents versus being independent.
And honestly, even if the woman works, the fact that it's not even just the fact that she needs you financially, she needs you emotionally and physically, and a bunch of things that she could need you with other than just financially. And that's what men like. As much as women try to dog men for their ego, that is what fuels us. Like, that is what gives us the dopamine that y'all get for the attention that you receive from men or from your man. Like, it is what makes us feel loved, is what makes us feel important in a relationship, is the fact that you need us. Like, that is what, I don't know why, or maybe it's just me, or maybe it's or maybe it's just like specific men and something. Well, obviously it's specific men, but I would assume that a majority of men feel the same way, that they want a woman that needs them. Obviously not needs them to like survive, but a woman that makes the man feel like they're needed. That's just, in my opinion, what I would assume every man wants. Just like how a woman would want a man that makes her feel needed. Like, there's nothing more disrespectful or hurtful than telling someone that you don't need them, even though it's like common sense. But it's just, I don't know. I think both genders would rather have a man that needs would rather have a husband that needs the wife and a wife that needs the husband. Like, that's how it works. It's yin and yang. Everything balances out.
That's just the truth. Like, men want women that aren't tainted. Men want innocence. Why do you think virgins are so valued to men?
Right.
Why do you think men prefer younger women? They look
Because
for all these vitality signs that a woman is younger and more
because
fertile.
they're so innocent, they never experienced anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You could
what men
definitely
prefer.
live at home with your parents and be a hoe. Like,
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
That's true.
That is true. However, the odds are in your favor just because you're the authority
It's
figure.
less likely.
And you might get shamed for doing that.
It's less likely. So, like, if a girl lives at home with her parents, right, there's a lower likelihood that she's
Most
going to be
likely not
promiscuous.
to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
There's
Is it
some parents
possible?
that don't
Yes.
care.
Yes, it is very possible. Like, sneak out through the night.
I mean, he's not saying that it's not possible. He's not saying it's not possible. He's saying it's just less likely. Like, it's if you hear a woman stays at home all the time, you're gonna assume that she's not for the streets. You're gonna assume she's not out at clubs talking to dudes, like hanging out with dudes all the time, bringing them back or going to their house, or you just, if you hear that shit, it gives you a judgment in your head off of stuff that you've seen in the past or stuff that you know, and it could be wrong, but typically a woman that stays at home is home for a reason, because she doesn't deal with all the bullshit that women that go to clubs do. But that's gonna be the end of that video. Please leave a like. If you guys got anything to say about the video, let me know down below. You know I'll read every single comment. And if you fuck with your boy, will you please give me a subscription? With that said, deuces.
They tell you I ain't never been played by a bitch, so I know they know what you saying is phony.
Ever since I bagged you, my bag got different. I've been flipping grams while you on the grand tripping. Ever since some bitches with their own selfish intentions got up in your ear, that's when your ass started listening. And that's when we got distance. You was pissed off, I wanna found a pot to pissing. You didn't have no calls, I let you go to chase the